GNX, Kendrick Lamar's new album, is a mixed bag to me, personally, because the thing that I enjoy about the album is sort of contradicted about the bad things about the album. Initially, I will say that GNX's initial track, like the track name GNX, it's kind of ass. It kind of feels like East, but worse, if that's even possible. And I quite enjoy East because I am a sucker for weird beats. But the thing about the GNX track is that it's sort of so full of features, and I was more expecting what you would get from the YouTube like teaser trailer of the album that dropped the same time as the album. And that's like one of the main things that stands out for me. Either way, I think it was really smart on his part to release the album like in a surprising way, where it's like, oh, the album is out now. Listen to it or don't. I don't care. Because it barely gives Drake any ammunition to like release an album the same day as him. And I think that's really smart. But I also think that obviously because Kendrick Lamar is so popular, he can afford to do that. So I kind of admire that in a way. A lot of the songs are very long, I will say, but a lot of them are packed with amazing beats, but some of them just sound like different iterations of Not Like Us. Mainly the ones that are the lower rated ones in my list. I think one of the ones that stands out to me the most is TV Off. But I will say that I think that Reincarnated and The Heart Part 6 are two songs that really do stand out to me, and songs that I think will stand the test of time in his whole discography. Do I think it's the worst album in his discography? No, because I feel like there is a lot of things that you can admire from this album. And I think it also means a lot because albums that have this big theatrical undertone to them, like Mr. Morale, are kind of out of fashion now. And they're a bit overdone. And I know that because making one is a pain. And obviously having one be made over the course of like 6-7 years is no longer the move. And I feel like a lot of the times when you do see albums that have this big theatrical undertone, they are forgotten about within mere weeks of it releasing. So I think that doing this is actually really interesting. It's a really interesting mark in his career, and it's definitely been the best year for Kendrick Lamar in terms of popularity, but also just, you know, songwriting. I think he's done fantastic in terms of how he's wrote these songs, and of course the beats that go along with them. Some of them do fall very flat. For example, GNX, which for me falls at like a 5 out of 10. It's very, I wouldn't say hard to listen to. You can definitely sort of build your immunity to it, but I feel like a lot of the album has no direction in where it's going, and that is a total contrast to something like Mr. Morale, where it has this conceptual undertone to it, and it feels very different when you're thinking about Kendrick Lamar, because when you think about it, Damn had a story, Good Kid, Mad City had some story, and of course To Pimp a Butterfly is this story. It is a story, and obviously that is, like I would say that Mr. Morale had a lot of these interludes in the songs themselves that sort of gave a little bit more narration to the story. This has basically no narration at all. It's all about sort of just throwing stuff at the wall and almost seeing what sticks. But I would say that this is a very interesting moment in Kendrick Lamar's history as an artist and his discography. I think that there are a lot of songs that you can enjoy once or twice, and it's that flow, the Not Like Us flow and whatnot. It's like, I'm kind of over it now. I'm kind of sick of hearing the same flow, if that makes any sense. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that there should just be more of a wider array of things to enjoy about the album, and so far it seems very narrow. And that's basically all the opinions I'm going to give from a first listen. And I probably will come back in about 3 months, see if it stood the test of time, see what people really think about it, and see if Drake has probably released a new album. Then he's probably absolutely shitting himself, thinking, fuck, I've got to make an album now so that I can, quote unquote, dethrone Kendrick. And yeah, so far, interesting album. Very hit or miss, some of the songs, but I think most of them are hits regardless. I'm going to say an 8 out of 10 on the first listen. I don't think that it has the same kind of thing where you have albums like Damn that really stand out to people. He is really trying to latch on to the popularity that the diss tracks caused and the whole beef caused. And even though that has some admirable qualities, is this really just a cash grab? Is he going to do something else that will, like, possibly another album or something? That is kind of what I have in my head right now. And after finishing the album, I am semi-indifferent to it, but I'm more in favor of it than something like Untitled Unmastered, even though that was an album that I particularly enjoyed all the way through as well. So yeah, that is my perspective from sort of a first listen. I will probably end up listening to the album again and again over the weekend, and of course the next 3 months, and I'll hopefully get a bit of more perspective about it, whether that's from Kendrick himself, not to me personally, but if he talks about the album, or, you know, see what happens in the grand scheme of the beef. Anyway, this has been French Toast, and I will see you guys later.